frieze of elephants and monsters around the plinth, which rather unexpectedly succeeds in bearing the obvious weight of the superstructure despite its contorted frenzy of movements. The sculptured panels of Dasavatara Bhairava, Ravana vigorously shaking the Mount Kailasa, dancing Shiva and Vishnu and Lakshmi listening to music carved in bas-relief are superb. To sum up in the words of Percy Brown, the Temple of Kailasa at Ellora is not only most stupendous single work of art executed in India, but as an example of rock architecture it is unrivaled. Standing within its precincts and surrounded by its grey and hoary pavilions, one seems to be looking through into another world. Not a world of time and space, but one of intense spiritual devotion expressed by such an amazing artistic creation hewn out of the earth itself. Gradually one becomes conscious of the remarkable imagination which conceived it, the unstinted labor which enabled it to be materialized, and finally the sculpture with which it is adorned. This plastic decoration is its crowning glory, sometimes more than a record of artistic form. It is a great spiritual achievement, every portion being a rich statement glowing with meaning. The Kailasa is an illustration of one of those occasions when men's minds, hearts and ideal. It was under such conditions of religious and cultural stability that this grand monolithic representation of Shiva's paradise was produced. 51. Among other rock-cut shrines of the period mention may be made of Dasavatara Temple, Cave 15, the only Brahmanical example in 2 stories, Ravana Karkai, Cave 14, Ramesvara, Cave 21, and Dumalina, Cave 29, which has great resemblance to the Elephanta caves. Of these, Dasavatara is by far the largest and simplest. There are figure sculptures of great size surrounding the walls depicting both the Vaisnava and Shiva temples. The outstanding sculpture among them is the Hiranyakasipu relief. Of this Ananda K. Kumaraswamy speaks thus: it would be difficult to imagine a more splendid rendering of the well-known theme of the impious king who met his death at the hands of the avenging deity in man-lion form. The hand upon the shoulder, the shrinking figure with the mocking smile that has had no time to fade, what could be more terrible? There are 5 rock shrines belonging to the followers of the Jaina persuasion. In this group the outstanding structures are Chota Kailasa, Indra Sabha and Jagannatha Sabha. Of the excellence of workmanship of the Jaina group of shrines, Percy Brown makes special mention of the richly carved details and perfect finish, particularly of the pillars and the finish and accurate cutting. Moreover, he says, as in many of the Producti Jains, in spite of the beauty of the embellishment, or perhaps in some obscure way on account of it, there is a cold and impersonal feeling in the rock-cut halls, which is not found in those of the Buddhist or Hindus, a circumstance of some irony in view of the pronounced humanitarian character of the creed that inspired them. But the great or main shrines at Elephanta is superior in its sculpture when compared with the Ellora group of shrines. For instance, the sculptured reliefs Nataraja and Sadasava are decidedly better executed than the Bhairava relief at Ellora. To put it differently, the sculptures of Ellora seem to be less accomplished in technique, though more florid in style. The sculptured reliefs of Ardhanaraswara and Trimurth in Mahesamurti at Elephanta are particularly noteworthy. Here the god is represented in triple form, corresponding to the 3 aspects of his functions: the creation, the protection and the destruction of the universe. This essays the Vedanti conception of God as one who can manifest himself in different forms in accordance with the functions he is to perform. As Crusit admirably puts it, the 3 countenances of the one being are here harmonized without a trace of effort. There are few material representations of the divine principle at once as powerful and as well balanced as this in the art of the whole world. Nay, more, here we have undoubtedly the grandest representation of the pantheist God ever made by the hand of man. It may be presumed that some of the shrines were originally decorated with paintings which are now lost to us. However, fragments of paintings are even now seen in the porch of the great temple of Kailasa at Ellora, and the cellings of the Mahesamurti shrine at Elephanta. The account of the artistic activity under the Rashtrakutas would justify the statement that the foremost contribution of the Rashtrakutas to the world of culture lay largely in the field of architecture and sculpture.